On my crank, funky drummer, feel the heartbeat. Let's hit the dance floor and let our private parts meet. Around these parts, that's how we party. So please pardon me. Ladies in the place, participate and move your body, please. Welcome back for another edition of the Cheef and Go. Very happy. Enough. Thank you. You're too kind. You're too kind. Yeah, okay, I see you, baby. Yeah. You back again. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, guys. Like I said, another edition of the Cheef and Go. Happy Thursday, Friday Eve. I'm your host, Chief, Lil Chief, Chiefy Dog, Chief Rocker, Chief Dizzle for Shizzle for Sheezy for show. Rockaway, Rockadamas, the cheat code, Mr. Chief, keep it brief, all of the above, the man in many hats, and all that. So I'm here for a new edition of the Cheef and Go. Look, I don't care about that. This is the 129-26 edition. Um I had a guest plan, but he had to reschedule because work kept him. You know what I mean? So let me go live on Instagram so we can reach the full audience. How's everybody doing? What's up? What's up? What's up? Let's see if anybody coming through. We in the goddamn snow. We in a snowstorm. We got covered with the snow and the ice, and it's just chunks of ice. It's like glaciers out that joint. If you ain't dig your car out that first day, and you let that ice settle in, you're gonna need some salt and a strong back and the steel shovel. Because I know there's a lot of shovels breaking out here with this here that we dealing with. And I'm gonna just tell you, the worst part about it is the drivers. Because you know, some people can't drive when it's regular weather outside. And like just the stuff people be doing, they're going slow at a time where they don't need to be going slow. I don't know if they paranoid about getting stuck with it. You know, the snow like 2-3 feet over here, you try and pass, and I'm driving up on snow mountains, and you got 2-3 feet over there. And I live in a neighborhood with a lot of short people. We just put it like that. But it's like, yo, you're stopping at stop signs for 8 seconds. Man, fuck the stop sign. This is a snow emergency route. We're not doing stop signs. That's how you get stuck. You keep it pushing. You got to know when to mash the gas and know when to hold her steady and know, you know. I guess there's a bunch of rookies out here. They don't know how to drive in it. You know what I mean? They don't got to have no truck. There's people with trucks that don't know how to drive. But yeah, like just the awareness, like, you know, the foresight. All right, I'm coming down the street. Okay, I see up ahead is only one lane. So let me merge before we get to the end, and now we causing traffic, because that's the worst part about DC traffic. Let's just be clear, it's merging. It's people don't understand it's a zipper. Just merge on in. You go, I go. Let somebody go, I go. You know what I'm saying? It's not that goddamn hard, people. But it's real irritating. I will say that. Why it ain't showing me the comments? Show comments on stage. No, I want to see them by myself, because there might be some funny people in the comments. They ain't showing me the goddamn comments. Well, nobody commented yet, maybe. All right, but yeah, so my man Loaf's gonna come through. Super producer. But like I said, he got caught up at work, so I'm gonna run this by myself. It's gonna be a solo Cheef and Go. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Thanks for people tuning in, subscribing, you know, liking, sharing, commenting on the content. Man, it's building. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. Thanks to everyone I'm seeing and talking to on a daily basis. That's, you know, make sure they mention, I like what you're doing, man. I keep getting that from everywhere. So you know, that's a blessing. I feel like, you know, that's what keep me going. I feel like I'm on the right track. You know what I mean? The shit ain't super polished, and you know, it ain't I ain't got a big team, but I'm consistent, right? And I know a little something, right? So, and I think we definitely have interesting topics and conversations with you know, movers and shakers in the game. So I appreciate everybody for sure. Appreciate everybody going through gogoloops.net. Check it out. I remodeled it, you know what I'm saying? I redesigned the website. I'm still working on a couple things. Make sure y'all go check that out, gogoloops.net. I will put that on the screen one time. So you can go do that. But thanks to everybody going and purchasing sample packs and all that. But like, yeah, when you go to the site now, I got, you know, timeline. I got a lot of videos. You can learn the history. You know, I got a lot of content. You know, just explaining what go-go is and showing you some of the history for those who don't know. And like I said, I'm still working on that. Um, what's up, DC Ice Cold, DJ Ice Cold? My bad, 804. Petersburg in the building, Petersburg, VA. Man, y'all know, a lot of y'all know, but some of y'all don't. It was a club in Petersburg. It was called Magic City at first, I believe, with a J. Or am I confusing that with the radio station? Anyway, big venue, had the catwalk that go out like 10 or 15 feet above this whole crowd. The stage was like 15, 20 feet. It's like one of them high stages like the old Black Scorpio. With a big screen on the side, and they got the cameras coming on the stage capturing the band while they performing, you know, so the crowd can see because the stage is way up. And then, like I said, they got the catwalk over the crowd, and they be partying on the catwalk like it was the balcony. So that's down in Petersburg. Then they changed it to Flavors, you know, during our time that we was playing. So it was between 94 and 96. It changed from Magic City to Flavors, but that was one of our favorite spots to play. And we would play with Junkyard. And one night we I think we did it by ourselves, and we got down there, and the line was around the corner, and it was a beautiful thing. And we were shocked, surprised, and very happy, very excited. So appreciate you tuning in, DJ Ice Cold. C Mills in the building. What's up, C Mills? On Instagram, we got the High Life join. Appreciate you, Elgin Shepherd, DJ D Money, DC. What's up, D Money? Mod 345. Check my DM. I will do. That's Marty Mar. I need a loop to practice the congos too. I got that. It's on YouTube. Just go search Go-Go Loops drum loop Congo practice or something like that. Drummer loop practice the drum play along drum video. That's what it is. Play along drums. Just don't forget, I'm the goddamn CEO. You right. You right, D Money. I cannot forget that, my brother. We can never forget that. Shirts coming soon. Definitely go check out the well, if you go to the Go-Go Loops and go to the merch shop, you'll see the ART collective where I got a collective collection of things with Hucklebuck Legacy apparel. We got Go-Go Loops apparel and Always Remain True. All these things are a part of the brand, and we definitely got I'm the goddamn CEO shirts. So I'm gonna do that as soon as I get off this live. What's up, E? My man E and the Natty. Hey, DJ Ice Cold used to DJ at that joint at Flavors, or you was just partying? I heard there's a tape floating around, Hucklebuck joint from one of them shows down there. I haven't heard it, but I would love to hear it. Sean in the building, my man Sean Mackay. He's the goddamn CEO, really, officially. You know what I'm talking about? Man, Sean, I appreciate you. This X32 came in handy. Man, we got it done. My family did a gig for my aunt's Phyllis' 80th birthday, and we all played, all family, right? My uncle was on guitar, my father on bass, my uncle's son Travis, my little cousin on keys, and Precious, Phyllis' daughter, was singing, and my cousin Jelani on the congo. And we jive, turned that thing out. So this X32 came in handy, and that's only because the goddamn CEO, you know what I'm talking about, got me right. Yeah, I got some tapes. I do got some tapes. I got some tapes on YouTube. I got a lot of tapes too, like from, you know, like High Performance and Publicity. Well, not a lot of publicity. Pure Elegance, Hucklebucks, Optimistic Tribe, class band. I got them. All right, but yeah, I'm gonna get with you. 92 snacks, snacks. Man, I need, man, look, them was times, man. We used to stay at the Holiday Inn every time we went down there. I don't know what road it was off. It was a food line across the street. And I remember we got up in that you go up in the bathroom in the hotel when you're young and turn that steam and that steam light on, turn the shower on and turn that heat light, right? And steam it out. And we steam that thing out, and you when you come out, that air be thin and cool and crisp, and you be smacked. And we walked across to the food line at 5 in the morning. And if we had cameras, man, it would have been unforgettable because back in them days, man, we was a whole reality show. We was definitely a whole reality show back then, and a bunch of guys that was loving life, having fun, had a chemistry, and was just generally some funny guys from different walks of life. So it made for great content. But that's neither here nor there. Got to send shout out to the Madness Shop, the Madness Connection, Universal Madness 85. Huh? We wear it well. Peace and blessings. This is definitely my favorite piece. I didn't show the back before because I had to rerun this because all I got is short sleeve. Like I gotta go see my man Rick in the bag. You know what I'm talking about? 40 years strong. Can y'all see that? I don't even know what's on the back. There's nothing. All right, whatever. But yeah, I love this sweatshirt because it's cold now in this joint, and I ain't really had time to. I ain't having my I ain't have time to put the t-shirt together in the right way. But shout out to the Madness Connection, official sponsor of the Cheef and Go. Y'all make sure y'all go check them out because they are still in business. Better believe it, baby. Down on Leonardtown Road. You hear me? Y'all got to go check them out. Get all your fresh gear from the originators. It don't get no more original than Madness. You know what I'm talking about? When you wearing that Madness, hey, that represents something. So go check them out, 3641 Leonardtown Road. Shout out to them. Definitely appreciate them. So yeah, tonight I want to talk about the music business. What's up, Kim? Cookie in the building. Cookie in the building. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot to be said about the music business, right? You got the music, then you got the business, then you got the music business, right? So it's a lot that to learn, to navigate it properly, to get all your dividends, right? Your residuals, your payments, to get compensated properly, right? And it's we'll say it's a game. It's not really a game. It's a process, right? It is a process. It's a certain type of if you're in the know or you ain't in the know, right? And then there's a certain type of you have to have a certain status. You kind of got to get in there, and you got to have a name, right? It's a rich man's sport, right? Music is for people who got money. It's a luxury, right? Making music is really a luxury. Like, yeah, anybody can learn, play the guitar, be playing in the house for their kids, and their harmonica, and you might sing a little bit. You're doing it at church, So it's levels to this, right? But to really be get compensated and to understand how to get compensated in all the levels and all the paths and tricks of the trade, you really gotta study it and understand the music business and how it works. Because the music is just that, music. Yeah, a lot of people can do music. It's like a lot of people can play basketball, but a professional basketball player and a team, that's a whole different thing. Now that's the basketball business. So I just wanted to talk about some things regarding that music business and maybe, share some information that people might not know. Maybe you need a refresher because, it's so much. I know I do sometimes. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I need to check into that. But so as it pertains to go-go, rap, hip hop, gospel, which is very close to go-go. Let me just be clear. Hey, my dogs in here, they be sleeping and growling and waking up, growling at each other. But yeah, I be watching these gospel joints. I mean, it's always been the coalition there, it's always been a correlation between it, the high energy, but some of them Kirk Franklin joints, it's like the Wan Wan Co, like it's damn near like the pocket. It's just almost the same energy, which is a beautiful thing. So but whatever genre you're talking about and whatever medium you're using, there's a way to monetize it. There's a way to own it, protect it, promote it, and build generational wealth, possibly, right? That's a big possibly. So I want to talk about some of them things. I was watching this video on Other Tones, the Other Tone podcast, I guess. And Pharrell Scott and this guy, damn, I don't really know his name. Family, Kenny Beats, they were talking about some things. So I want to play that real quick, and then we can dive into the combo. I want to play that real quick for y'all one time. Always happens. Now I ain't gonna be able to find the joint. Wow. Oh, it's right here. Duh.
The process, or who feels like they know a lot about it, or who feels like I've got it figured out in any kind of way. I just started speaking about the worst things that went on when I was younger, or mistakes I made, or just dumb stuff that happened. And it seemed like that resonated so much farther, whether I was in the studio or talking to people who didn't understand studio stuff, than me ever talking about an accolade or some big song or anything else. Whenever I told people about kind of like what my path was and the realistic side of experiencing the music industry as someone who doesn't fully understand your part in it, that's whenever the conversations got interesting. And as people around me started explaining to me that the value of a producer is just diminishing more and more and more and more as time goes on, because so many people are so good, so many people can make beats, I started having cameras kind of put on me in the studio and this and that, and it spun into the stuff on YouTube or Twitch or the Discord or anything else. And it really was not intentional. And I never consider myself any kind of guru or anything like that. I just speak on what I've experienced making a lot of songs since I was a young kid.
I heard you said that you think that the producers maybe, I think you said diminishing. Is it because, and you said because so many people are so good now, but is it a thing of oversaturation or access to to equipment nowadays, or like I want to know your opinion on that. Like,
I'm 30 years old. When I was in high school, and by the way, when I was in high school, Hit My Beeper was running through every hallway.
Wow.
But
Thanks,
when I was in high school, being in a band was just starting to phase out. The idea of having a lot of kids in your school who play guitar and play instruments, and you can get together and play in a garage and start doing music together, that was already kind of not really a thing. I played guitar as a young kid. I knew one other guitar player. I knew no one who played bass, and there was like a kid at another school who might play drums. And so making beats for me was the only natural thing to do. And that's when I was 15 years old. So we're talking about 2004, something like that. At that time, it was the only thing that made sense for me to really make music was, okay, I better learn how to use a drum machine or use one of these programs or this and that. And that was me then. So think about in 2022, the idea of being a DJ, the idea of being a producer, it's not even like a weird thing anymore. It's cool now. When I was in high school, I'm 6'7". Me not playing basketball was something no one could understand. Like me having a MySpace for my beats and calling myself Kenny Beats at 15 instead of going the route of sports or anything else made no sense to anyone around me. Now it's cool. Now it makes sense. But the access point with things like Splice, with how easy it is to get DJ equipment, you can download Rekordbox for free from Pioneer and start DJing. There's so many things people can do now to start making music and get the sounds that used to be gate kept. They used to be things where you could download the fake Neptunes kit. You could get a version of some Timbo thing or whatever was getting used by Danger or whoever, but you could never really get the sounds until you were years into going to studios, trading, meeting someone on some weird forum and getting a RAR file from them. Now you download the snare you want. Now you like that Cardi, that Uzi song, you go get that kit on Reddit in 10 minutes. So if you're 14 years old, that learning curve for you is about 4 months on YouTube to be making stuff that's of the quality of everyone's favorite stuff on any Spotify playlist. Where when I was younger, it took years of experiential learning and finding even the sounds, let alone wanting to be in a band or make music with instruments or this or that. It was like almost passe for me when I was a kid. So now I'm that generation where I'm 30 years old. I'm doing records with bands and I'm doing records with big pop artists and rappers all at the same time. And I can say to kids, I understand, I feel you. I know you might be from somewhere that doesn't have a music scene. There's no one to be in a band with. Production is the only way you found to make music by yourself. And now you're wondering where to go with it. I relate to that even from my younger.
Was him right there because he's younger than me, but I definitely understand those eras that he's speaking of. And the people, the audience he's speaking to is actually different from DC because it ain't hard to find some guys and join a band. But y'all know we have our own style of music, which is go-go music that, you know, doesn't happen anywhere in the world like it happens here. Even if somebody's playing it, you know, it's a whole culture attached to it, and it's very vibrant. And you know, that's a whole different thing. What's up, Gab? Gabby in the building. Hey, all I know is my MCs. But he speak a lot of truth in that interview with me. You know, you go on your time and watch the whole joint. I don't know, Apple might give me a copyright for putting it up there like that full screen. But so I kind of want to just take it back because the way he, you know, told his story. So I came in at the end of analog and the beginning of digital. My next door neighbor, when I was 16 or 17, 15, whatever, I went in his basement and he had Macs and PCs. He had the Macs where you could go from one screen, dual monitors and shit like that back then. And then he had the PCs on this side. And so he had Photoshop. So he was introducing me to graphics and introducing me to music, which it was a program, I believe, called Studio Vision Pro, which was one of the first digital programs available. When they had a little Macintosh, we would trade shit. I'd trade him a fish tank for a Macintosh, or he'd trade me a keyboard. I'd trade him a keyboard for a 4-track. And, you know, we would do things like that. But I would come over and just learn stuff. He left me in the basement one day, and I drew a whole comic character on Photoshop, airbrushing with shadows and shading and value. And I did a little beat on the Studio Vision, which was a software on the computer. Like I said, and these were the times where it was still analog time, right? Because I had a 4-track I got from him. I never really used the 4-track much, but you know, when I first started making beats, like 99, which was after we recorded with the Huckabucks on the DAT. And you know, if you mess up, you got to do it over. So this is I came in and we had a DAT at the studio. It was an analog board, patch bays, and I'm asking Roy, what's this and what's that? How does this work? And this and that. So I came in learning on the analog side with all the effects processing and all these things are outside of the board. Then you had amps, like for a live show, you got amps that's powering these speakers. Now the speakers are self-powered, right? You got a whole, and they smaller, more compact. It's a whole thing. Everything changed with digital. But back in those days, yeah, we were, you know, Charlie Fenwick, Rio, They had the big sound systems with those great big old woofers, and that's what Bugs and rapping them was climbing on. So, but we recorded our albums analog. Like I said, the studio work we did, we had to all do it at the same time. And ain't that much cutting and pasting you can do like now, right? So you really had to do it and be good. Then the digital came in. Like I said, I was introduced to that early with Studio Vision. It was a joint called Max Tracks, I think. When I traded and got the Mac from him, he gave me the disc for that joint. I brought the Mac home. Some kind of way I blew it up before I ever used it. Anyway, so I'm just saying I came in on the cusp of both of those things. So I have an understanding of both. And like I said, so when we really started doing tracks and I got my EPS Plus and me and Los was learning sequencing, we would be in the studio and we would be playing the track and muting stuff in and out, whether it be on the board or the keyboard. Like, he'd be playing the beat, and that's how we would get our drops, our verses, and our hooks. Well, now you could go, cut, paste, and that's the hook, boom, boom, boom. You could do it one time, paste it. Now we would have to go track our joints out in real time. So everything just took more time and more attention. And almost it was a more spiritual element that came with that side because you're doing it live, like the Cheef and Go, y'all. So, yeah. Dig say he still uses hardware. It's way easier for producers to come up now. You can make an album video promo from the crib with your phone. Like they say, he got the whole world in his hands. If you got a nice iPhone, man, you can get it done, right? So that's the difference. But what's the quality? Now everybody has access, but what's the quality, right? Because how many years did you sit in the basement doing it the long way, figuring it out, having an ear, going to school, being mentored, being in certain situations and spaces, absorbing, observing, taking advice that's making you better from these people that all went through that same journey. Now you got these guys and they get the equipment, they get the idea of what they want to do, and they can just boom, boom, boom. And some of it is good. It's not that all of it is bad. It's a gift and a curse. Because we get some great stuff from people that may have been in the cut and they just naturally talented, naturally gifted. But at the same time, we get a bunch of stuff that's just in the way and, may interfere with somebody seeing your stuff and you've been at it for years and, you got a, certain skill set and they jumping, they leapfrogging in front of you. You know what I mean? So which brings me to, I just want to go through the brief history because I took a class on like this Harvard. It was like a free joint. I forget EDX, whatever, some years ago. And the OJ's lawyer, I believe it was the OJ's. It was a guy, he just did a whole course. And you know how people was in an uproar when Napster and the file sharing came out, and now they're in an uproar about AI. Every 10 years or so, now exponentially faster, things change, technology changes. And you always find a way to figure it out to, look, I don't know about now, I don't know what we're gonna do, but it usually works itself out where the artists and the producers and everybody finds a way to get equally compensated and tracking and everything of how it's supposed to be. But this goes all the way back to the piano roll. He broke this down. Now you see them Western movies where it just be a piano playing, bloom, 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 and there's nobody playing it, right? So this was one of the first, I guess, methods of music distribution or publishing or music being played without the band being there, right? And so in that time, the sheet music was being fed to the piano and it's reading the sheet music and whatever type of automation they did, was allowing that piano to play these songs in these saloons and the westerns, like I said, western movies, whatever. You had the phonograph, you had that. It's called the piano roll, I think. Um, the phonograph was they going down south and Bobby Johnson and they pulling up on the farms and finding people, slaves, right? The Negro spirituals, the minstrels, like this rich music history that was just, like I said, this was at home. This was niggas in the field just singing songs. We had a voice. The voice was the first instrument. I always say the congo, the drum, but it was the voice. So this instrument, so they was coming in when they had that phonograph and they was able to capture that and go reproduce it and distribute it, right? So that was like, I think, the first. Now they got the piano roll. Now we got a way to play it and that person ain't even there. And of course it wasn't vocals with that, it's just more music. And we'll get to that later with publishing your sheet music for a marching band to play. Like that's a whole nother avenue of publishing that people may not think about. But yeah, so fast forward, phonograph, 8-track, we had tapes. And so this, what I'm saying, went on for a long while, right? And then 90s, early 90s, now the compact disc comes in. So now it's this miniature record that can hold way more songs and get produced way easier. And now we're in the digital age with CDs. That's really where, vinyl tapes like go-go, mixtapes, PA tapes. This is the realm of late 70s, 80s tapes. That, reel to reel, warm sound, associated with warm sound, analog. And then as we turn the decade to the 90s, now we CD, right? So that went on for most of the 90s. I guess around the end of the 90s, that's when the Napster and the file sharing and the MP3s and the iTunes, when the internet was introduced. But every time this thing changed over, when it went from record to CD, how are we gonna make money? Everybody was in an uproar. Every time this changes over, every time the technology advances, people panic, right? But there's no way you can turn back technology. So you can't panic. You just gotta roll with the punches, go with the flow, figure out how to capitalize with the new technology. What's up, Lady O? Absolutely. Hey, look. Absolutely. And I'm a cook tonight. I'm a cook. Having Mo Diggs say, shout out to Lady O. That's the Snatch the Savage podcast every Saturday at 8 o'clock on Lux Radio. Y'all make sure y'all tune in. Haven't used the CDR. Yeah, they stopped making computers with CD slots a while ago. I got a 2015 MacBook right here. This is the last one where they got like 2 or 3 USB ports. Then I got this 2024 joint, and all they got is the USB-C and the card, SD card. So it's like, yeah, it's changed. And then, the people that's making products, yeah, they gotta change with it. So then I'm not gonna give you the CD drive or nothing even to hook up an external CD drive, but I still got my old Power Mac right here where I still can rip files and use my CDs. But that's what we're saying, that the game has changed. We can argue about the warmness of analog as opposed to digital. I definitely think it's a difference. It's nothing like a vinyl. I do have an Avalon right here, right? I got my Avalon tube amp that's great for vocals and bass guitars and bringing things in to the digital of my Logic, right, to my DAW. But what I learned from my man Scott T. Robinson in Atlanta, shout out to Scott T., he'll bring that stuff in through you bring your analog instruments through your Avalon. And then once he get that 2-track, he'll send it back through the Avalon just to bring that warmth back. So, like I said, there's always tricks to the trade. But just wanted to give that history for people who didn't know, because there's always going to be a change. I mean, we know we living in a whole time of a point of no return, a lot of point of no returns, but that doesn't mean give up and it's impossible. because with the technology, you have more opportunity, more ways to be discovered. You got the whole world in your hands with your phone, right? You can shoot your own video or snippet, because the whole video is not the thing no more, right? The songs became shorter. Um, way more people are making music, have access to put music out through these DSPs. But if you confident in your skills, then that shouldn't scare you. You know, a lot of people, a lot of us, people I came up, we older, but we still got the skills and the knowledge, right? And so I want to get into writing, producing, how that's changed, producing. Me and Diggs talked about this on another show a couple weeks ago. We were talking about the entry level pay of a producer and how that's changed with these advances in technology. But I just want to make sure that people understand the climate, the terrain, the atmosphere of this music business, and maybe give some insight on how to go about it. Just from my humble opinion, I'm not getting rich off music. I tell you that. That's why I'm doing the Cheef and Go. One of the reasons, and another reason is people been telling me, "Yo, hey, you should be doing radio, man. You should be on TV. You crazy, my whole life. Hey, you got a radio voice, So this is not exactly radio, but we are on Lux Radio. But you know what I mean. Media was I think a natural progression for me. But so that's just one of the things I want to talk about, because the actual music business, and let's say you're one of these young producers and you're making music in the house on the laptop. You don't have no real big team or label or following or production company or public, like a publicist or publishing company that's able to put your stuff out there to the masses, which comes with a cost. And you just want to be able to, go viral on TikTok, which a lot of artists have started on YouTube, TikTok. It's a lot of them. I'm not going to name them, but there's a lot of young artists that have started through these means. But there are ways. So I wanted to talk about them. So there's much more to music, much more than music to make money, right? So okay, they saying Spotify, Apple Music, they paying 0.639 a cent, not even a cent, not even a fraction of a penny per stream. So you got to have this many streams to even make any money. Then you got to pay the DSP, DistroKid, TuneCore, CD Baby, whatever platform you're using to even put it up there, and for different services like your YouTube content ID matches, certain things for certain platforms you got to pay. You might have to pay a yearly subscription. So sometimes it don't even out, or you might be making a little bit more than what you're paying. So now people are looking at like, why am I going through this DSP? And a lot of these labels have bought into these companies because they see that's pretty much the new way to capitalize on music, right? You got 3 big labels. That's another thing. It was a whole bunch of labels and subsidiaries of labels, parent labels and labels under them, right? Warner Brothers, Universal, Sony Music, which pretty much is the big 3 now, right? Now it ain't a bunch of Aristas, and a lot of them other labels fell off because of the technology and the way music was being consumed. So if you're not a part of that machine, how do you get to it? But that machine said, hey, we see how many people are uploading songs and albums every day from their living room or their little studio or their little crew. Let's capitalize on that. So they bought stock and shares and, bought these companies out. So they are getting a piece of it, a big piece of it, these labels right now. So, and it ain't about, I'm going to beat them, they're not going to beat me, and it's not. You got to figure out the best way for you to get your music heard, seen, out to the masses, and then pull those people in, right? Pull your tribe in from that. So a lot of people say, like Woody Woods always saying, man, y'all go out here and y'all putting it out there and this and that. And I understand what he's saying, because yeah, a Master P mindset, or that CD age where you can, or go right, Jam and Jeff and Big Butch and Mac Attack Arcade, and you know what I'm saying, these people, PA Pat, you could sell these CDs, but that was the time where that medium was prominent, and you could come up. But now that's not the case. So if you're a smaller artist without a big following, how do you reach the people to get them to come buy your CD? So like, let's say you're not putting it on DSPs on all platforms, right? And you want to drive traffic to your website where you got it here. You can buy it on a USB drive, physical. I'll send you a CD if you want it, or you can download it straight from my website, right? Which that's some coding and widgets and shit you got to do already. So that's some work. But then how do you get people to come to your website to get it from you when they can just go to Spotify and hear all their favorite artists, right? So I understand what Woody is saying about bringing it in and controlling, and making all your profit off it. But at the same time, how do you get people to know about it to come and purchase it directly from you, direct to consumer? Now that's something you got to figure out. And that comes with clever marketing. Now you got social media, you got TikTok, you got Instagram, you got YouTube, you got Facebook, you got Twitter. So you got to figure out how to draw people in to you as an artist, your personality, to go buy your music, right? Or song, maybe one song in particular. But I think the overall idea is to get them to know you or like you or become a fan of you. And you can do skits, you could do something like a podcast. You can have a girl twerking to your joint. As many ways and many lanes of study with that. I'm not gonna get too deep into that, but that's the trade-off. Like, and maybe you say, all right, I'm gonna do the DSPs, I'm gonna do on all platforms for 2 years to try to bring people in, because I'm reaching people all over the world. And then after this 2 years, then I'm gonna pull my stuff off and go have it all on my website, or when I'm doing performances, you buy it from me physically, direct to consumer, physically. So that's one aspect. I'm jumping all over the place, but it's just a lot. It's a lot that I was thinking about. So yeah, so like merchandise, right? T-shirts, hats, keychains, lighters, stickers, socks, pants, bags, whatever, that you can produce carrying your name, that can make a person remember you, right? Like, say you do a show, and at the show you selling these whatever, this t-shirt or this keychain or this hat, something that people can take away, and when they might have forgot about you, look at it and remember you, and look up your music on all platforms and be able to go stream it. That is giving you some numbers, though. It's putting you in the system of BDS, broadcast data spans. Maybe that's not broadcast data spans, but streaming, right? So it's just like, you got to figure out what's best for you at any given time. So I think that's important. But yeah, just different content, right? I think movies, short movies, stories, the whole key is your story, period, right? You want to tell your story. Now, whatever format you use to do that is up to you. You got to figure out that for yourself. But how do you tell your story? How do you draw interest into who you are and what you stand for, right? What's the definition? And that's how you find your tribe, because they like, man, I like that. I relate to him. I'm like that, right? When we watch a movie, we see the hero, we see the main character, and we identify with them usually. And it's just like, and then we go through the movie, we go through the obstacles and the ups and downs with that hero, because we have identified with them and associated them with them and have a relationship with them in a sense. So that's how you want to come off to your audience, to build this audience, so you can then maybe pull your stuff off all platforms and then have it in a specific way on your website or however you figure it out. It's all different type of ways to skin this cat. And examples of this would be La Russell, is that his name? The dude out Cali, you know, had a great plan, strategy. I don't even know if it was a plan. He just started stepping. He started doing it. And it turned out, and he do his thing in his backyard, kind of like a front porch. Right? Look at what Nucci did, right? So it's different ways that we can find to bring people into our story. And then, you know, once they're in our story, then once they relating to us, once they tapped in, they might buy the products, right? So that's another way. Products, cologne, further than merch, spring water, right? Alcohol, whatever. You might have a weed brand. Like I'm working on the Cheefism rolling papers, right? Stuff that makes sense to your brand. It's just different ways. And then, you know, you get out here and you meet people and you network and you never know. You find somebody that can help you, you know, with these ideas or help you with the manufacturing of it. So these are all the things to think about, because sitting back and waiting on royalties from streaming is not going to be good, because music, you know, it's never really been. I mean, it's been a time, if your contract was right, that you could make some money. You know, it's certain eras, but right now it's really not that time when you know, when it comes to like sales or streaming, right? Downloads and streaming is where we at. Shows, live performances is, you know, probably where you will get the bulk of your money. So like I'm saying, you get people into your store, you get people that's feeling you and liking you, and you know what I'm saying, that's your tribe. And now you go do stores, you put your music out there. So that's why I'm saying the Woody, you might need to put it on these all platforms just to get people familiar with you, because you might want to go down the road to South Carolina and do a show at a little lounge or something. And you just, you know, you got to figure out a way to build up that tribe, that faithful tribe, right? It don't got to be a lot of people, it just got to be the right people. And now they locked in with you. And so I'm selling this water bottle cup that you could, you know, little, you know, that you could put your water in or your drink in, your coffee, right? Come to my website, I got that. And then that's a representation, the extension of you and your brand and what they liked about you. So they buy that. And so, you know, you can have different things that they buy into that will ultimately turn into more profit than probably streaming will. So different ways to release your products too. Exclusive things like songs, certain songs, right? Certain albums, EP, it might be exclusive. Only 100 people get this joint, and I'm having a listening party at this small place, and the tickets are this much, and you only could get there if you get an email. You know what I'm saying? And you make people feel special, and you make it a secret. So it's these different marketing tactics. There's a book called, is it right here? It's a book called damn. That's great for that type of stuff. I accidentally hit the joints. Yeah. Yes, indeed. This book right here, Jonah Berger, whatever Berger, Contagious. Yeah, it break down a lot of that stuff. But yeah, man, I'm just, you know, wanted to come in and share some things. Like I said, I know y'all commenting. Hold up. What can I get for 63 cents? The to get you. That's my man Ty in the building from the HB Stars. Music business is gone. It's dead. We just ain't getting it. We ain't getting in on it unless we, you know, study and figure out how to get in on it. You definitely got to lose money to make money. Free shows, yeah. Any business you're gonna lose money, right? Any business, even on the block, right? If the block got a lot of niggas out there, you gotta come out here with your joints, like, hey, me, and you gotta put your number in there and holler at me. And what's gonna be different about yours than this person, right? Y'all might be getting the work from the same dude. What's going to be different about your work and his work? Maybe your custom service better. Maybe when they hit you, you right there. Maybe it's a little bit more and they pay a little bit less. So these are the things, this is all marketing. We got to figure it out, baby.
Don't start no shit, won't be no shit now. Don't fuck shit up.
Don't fuck shit up, okay? Okay? I'm the goddamn CEO. But yeah, that part, yeah, these was some of the questions or like, talking points I was gonna have with my man Loaf. He's been producing for a long time. But experience versus technology was one of the points. And like I mentioned earlier, like, yeah, it's a guy that go get a laptop and a USB mic and splice where you can go get the loops. Or he got Apple, he got Logic, get the Apple loops, and he just putting loops together. He got Fruity Loops, whatever. He don't really understand music. Maybe he got an ear, whatever. Maybe he just throwing it together. Maybe it's trash. Maybe it's all right. That's technology, basically. That's what we're dealing with. But experience from a school I told you about earlier, what you had to go through to learn or even just take step one was so much that it couldn't be a pump fake. Like you had to know something. So I think that's the difference for all our older producers and writers who may feel like they don't have a chance. I think the knowledge and experience gives you a leg up on the competition. And I wouldn't worry about the old being older because I mean, honestly, songwriting is the best place right now. Like you could write a song and one of the big young artists doing it. I don't want to name no names and sound old, but yeah, Dolce or somebody do your joint or shit. One of these R&B artists, like Chris Brown, somebody do your joint, and nobody even got to know you did it. You in Walmart, you at the game, you at the gas station, they pumping you in the store, downtown locker room, they pumping it, and you walking in there, and young nigga walk by, man, move out the way, old head, you old ass nigga. You don't even know you wrote that joint, and them checks coming in, because that's where the money at for real. Because the producers is not really the same. I mean, there's ways to get what you. I ain't gonna say what you deserve, but there's ways to to get what you want or what you will settle for. But when it comes to writing, it's really no way. I mean, there's ways they can rob you on that, but you still got to be careful with your paperwork. But I'm just saying, I always looked at that though. Writers always been like the top of the food chain. Because like the dude was saying, I don't even think he got to that. He said, yeah, there says no samples in the beat, boom, 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 boom. And then, once you go to do the paperwork, you got 3 different youngins that done did the production or beat making, right? And so everybody got to get paid, but usually it's one writer or maybe 2. You know what I'm saying? You might have a co-writer or writing, y'all writing a team that y'all writing together, but a lot of times I just think that's the way to get to get all the way to it. So, but yeah, experience versus technology, CDs versus social media, right? So we had the CD in the trunk, on site, we got that thing, right? Now it's social media. It's like that's the trade-off. Now, instead of pulling up on somebody with the CD, man, pop this joint in, whoop, whoop, whoop. Now that's the way you're getting it out there. Social media is probably the biggest way. Because even with the DSPs, on all platforms, you're promoting that on social media. So that's kind of like social media is the new CDs, the new tapes, the new vinyl. Bigger rocks go faster. Fact, man, 2 for 30. I mean, 3 for 20. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. Right. And that's a whole nother story. But yeah, approach to creating and releasing production music songs. The approach, like I said, thinking of clever ways to market your music, clever ways to use these, to leverage these platforms to get your message and your story and your music across, your art, right? And a lot of times it might not be, hey, go listen to my music. I put out this new song and this new EP and this and that, and it's me and my mans and them. It might just be creating a visual that may relate to the music in a way, or maybe not. And because everything is so normal, everybody just on social media going live, sitting at work, or doing regular shit. So you're doing some regular shit, and the music just playing in the back. You're not even mentioning the music. Because somebody might say, man, what's that in the back? Oh, that's, because it's not direct in their face like you selling them something. Because everybody's selling something. So everybody's selling a course and my master class, and I'm going to coach you. And so people are bombarded with that. So sometimes you got to sneak it in a stealth way, right? Where you just got, you might be in there with your kid or something, and y'all doing something cute, that women and people gonna be like, oh, that's so cute, this and that, but your song playing in the back. And subconsciously, things like that can help it seep in. So just things to think about 2026. The AI thing, is brand new. You got the open AI, you got Suno and a few other platforms that have learned to recreate music by using all of the music that's in our shit that's out here in the realm and out here in the world, all the music that has been created and fed into this machine, this learning machine, this AI machine of learning, to be able to regurgitate it and spit it out when you give it a certain prompt, right? So that's the open AI and what they call AI slop. There's a lot of stuff that's, coming out that, may not be great, but there's a lot of stuff that it's a tool, right? In the 70s or 60s, they didn't know that we was going to have the drum machine, right? The beatbox, which was actually a box. It's the first drum machine, one of the first drum machines. The MPC, the machine, these keyboards that sample and sequence and can do everything the band do, right? This wasn't happening in the 60s and 70s. They didn't have that. That was another thing. You think they panicked? Man, how this machine gonna do what I do? It's gonna take my job, right? It's inevitable. It's technology. So those were forms of AI in a sense, right? Because it's a computer that can do what you can do, right? So now we got this open AI. We got a lot of talks about intellectual property and, whether they stealing, and how that's going to turn out in court later, because it's like new. It's a whole new thing. But you got artists that's writing the stuff and they just going to get the Suno to create the track from their prompt. From there, I want a bass line to sound like this. I want the vocals to sound like this. But the thing is, all those bass lines and vocals come from previously recorded music that are out here that have been put out into the world. And so that's the fuss about that. Oh yeah, they stealing. And some of it more directly than not. But saying that to say, like I said, all eyes on us. I knew a time would come where real music, live music, real musicianship and instrumentation was going to become a commodity again, sought after. Like, yeah, it's going to become top tier. It's going to become upper echelon. So we're entering that time right now, because now that you're going on your all platforms and listening to music, they say it's like 50,000 AI songs being uploaded a day, and that's just like Spotify, right? So you're gonna have so much music, you're not gonna know if it's real. Is it a computer? What's real? Like, what's authentic? Like fake Jordans and Gucci from the little on the side of the street, right? We get into that point where the only way you're gonna know it's real is if it's live. So that's going to become a specialty. It's gonna be bigger now. It's gonna be like more special. I don't know why I can't think of my words, the specific words. But you know what I'm saying? That's gonna be more. That's gonna be the shit, okay? And because the AI is gonna make it so saturated. We already said the technology and advancements of technology and the access to the equipment and the loops and all this have made it saturated. and the price that producers get paid then went down. So now you got AI where anybody can just prompt the joint. And so that's going to become so oversaturated and in our face that when we hear some live music with some nuances of humanism in it, that's gonna be everything, right? You got live shows, they got stuff tracked, they got vocals in the back, they got instruments tracked in the back, like a bed, right, to keep it safe on these big shows. That's why now go-go is going to become very important to the culture of music, because y'all already know what we do, and it ain't no, safety net. It ain't no tracking, nothing. We do it live, we do it spontaneous, we do it different every time, and we do it the best. So that's my point on that. Stuck behind the scenes, right? 10% time and 90% business. Yeah, we look, man. Me and Gabby done been doing this shit so long, and just quality. We got shit sitting that we ain't put out yet, but if y'all see Gabby live, y'all know the difference. What I'm talking about is just a difference between old school, new school. I mean, it's just some people just do it better. Some people put more into it. Yeah, I just think we gotta really make sure, we learn. I just wanted to, say some of the things I'm thinking about, maybe expand y'all mind on how y'all thinking, and maybe y'all on the same page, and that's a good thing too. Now we got confirmation. But definitely you got to understand music publishing, right? Your pros, your ASCAP, your BMI, your CSAC. You got to register for one of those, right? To get paid by your music playing publicly. Then you got Sound Exchange, right? Very important. Sound Exchange is a company that goes and gets your music, a lot of your internet play that maybe your BMI or ASCAP may have missed. So they going in and with a microscope and checking and bringing you some of those, a lot of that internet streaming money. Like I said, not just from your DSPs or what DistroKid is going to pay you in your dashboard. They go on and look at the Pandora spins, or just a overall view of internet playing. Internet, mostly internet, is from what I know. And if they say if you play the tambourine on the song, put it on that list. It's a joint where you can sign up as an artist, the artist repertoire, and then they got the song owner. Like if you own it or you managing an artist, you can go and or if you got a label and you own the actual master, it's like two different applications. But definitely the sound exchange. It's probably a lot of y'all that got a little money on the table that could get it from there. You got Song Trust. It's the same type of company that I think they go extensively in looking at your internet, trying to get you your money for things that's playing overseas and things like that. That is $100, I think, to sign up. You got the MLC. I think it's the mechanical licensing company, whatever. They go look for your money. It's just different ways, man, but you got to research some of this stuff. But make sure you got your ASCAP or your BMI or your CSAC. You register with a performing rights organization, and make sure you sign up for Sound Exchange and register all your songs through there. Rock and roll bands. Yeah, I don't know. What's the biggest rock and roll bands. They in the shadows too. When drum machines and synthesizers and all the machines that can make the music and the Logics and Pro Tools and all these things came out, now we got the loops on top of that can give you the same licks that the rock guitar is gonna play, the same drummer stuff. GoGoLoops.net. I got the go-go stuff for y'all, but and more hip hop. I got a lot of stuff there. But now you can have 2-3 dudes in the studio or one person and not really achieve the same thing, because it's an energy, it's a spiritual thing that come with a band. But yeah, the whole band thing got pushed back when this technology came out. That's what I'm saying. This was a while ago. That was a whole nother panic moment. Like, oh, how are we going when you get 3 people or a person like me, I come in, I'm gonna play the drums live on I'm gonna play a guitar line and the riffs on the bass, and then I'm gonna add some other stuff or a keyboard line. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of people that play the rhythm section instruments that can come in and do that. And then all right, I'm gonna get some horns to come in, or I'm gonna get a vocalist. So, you know, it's different ways that the game has changed, but we just got to figure out how we got to get to it. And everybody's situation is different, and everybody's mind, creativity is different, and that's but we all connected. So Sean might have an idea and he go do something, and that jump win, and I might look at that and say, oh, I like how he did that. I'm gonna take this and that, and I'm gonna do mine like this, and that's how we progress. But we can't be worried about it, or we can't let it shut us down. Like, I ain't gonna do music no more because technology. Because if that was the case, then a lot of motherfuckers wouldn't have kept it going. And then you're gonna waste your God-given talent. And that's a sin. That is a sin. If you don't express the gift God put you here to express, you're going to hell. I don't believe in hell, but you know what I'm saying? That's bad. The go-go vinyls, I don't know, but vinyls are back in play, baby. Vinyls are in full effect. I got something coming for you. I got some stuff coming, but I'm sure some vinyls out there. I don't know, cause what records been? I wonder if Scooby put Rhythm Like This on vinyl. If he haven't, he should, Scooby, cause that's a good record, man. That's a record that's gonna last some time. You need that on some vinyl, man. Maybe do a collector's joint when you're only doing 100, and you got the instrumental on one side, and another version with Derek singing it with you on it. Anyway, shout out to Scooby and Derek. Oh yeah, that's coming. That's coming. I'm about to work on Lil Boogie doing the album. I'm gonna work on her joint with her. I'll work on her Congo album, and then actually, me and Nikki Bonds, Nikki told me that a few years ago he wanted to do an album, like a Congo album. So yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. It's just time to get to it because all eyes on us right now. So I'm all that's coming. Kyrie, it's coming. Trust me. You got a lot going on, man. What's up, brother Roland in the building? The good brother Roland. We all the way up. Rolling Stones, how about that? Still going. I think that drummer they had, he might have died a couple years ago, but he was about 75. Well, yeah, the bands wanted more money because there's a lot of people to pay. And then the label was looking at the band like, we don't want to deal with, let alone 3 personalities, right? The Red Hot Chili Peppers or Stone Temple Pilots or these groups back in the day, Green Day. It's 3 or 4 of them. And that's hard. So you coming in with 10 people, they ain't gonna be able to. That's too much bandwidth. They can't. We ain't gonna be able to deal with all this. So that's why we got to figure out who our spokesperson is. Like at a football game, when we go in the beginning of the game, we send our captains. The captains represent the band on maybe the covers, in media. You know what I'm saying? And then the rest of the band, they just come and do their job, but making sure everybody's compensated would be the difference with go-go because, it's a lot of people play a major role. It's a lot of people that we couldn't do it without in go-go, right? That's why it's so many people. Absolutely. This year, bruh, it's going down. Man, nowadays, that is a hell of an idea right there. That's the comment of the night. That is absolutely necessary. You see that, brother Roland? That might be something we can initiate because that's important. And then come sponsor the Congo battle, right? The Latin Percussion Showcase, right? Yeah, do that and sponsor the Congo battle. So now we got 2 events. That's very necessary. Because y'all know we the only people that use the junior LPs. We the only, really the only city that they sell in. Other musics don't use it. I mean, I don't know. It might be like a cumbia or some type of other Latin genre that they were introduced in. Maybe salsa. I don't even think it was salsa. That's more timbali. and like the big joints. So I don't know, but I've talked to like what's my man at Chuck Levins? He gone now. I heard he gone. Old manager. What's his name? The old manager at Chuck's. God damn it. That's my man. Anyway, yeah, they say, yeah, they only sell these here. Like I've been to Atlanta and we got to buy a high Congo head and you can't find them. Somebody got to send it from up here, or you got to get it from the Guitar Center up here. Coleman says, yeah, we're the only guys that, we only sell these here. And you and Jeff and Paul Buggy, he's cracking pedals in half. Nobody else comes in here with the pedal cracked like this. And Larry, you guys, what are you doing on those drums? Nobody comes in here with that cracks the pedal. Now Coleman was cool though, y'all. Yeah. The visibility of it could bring to this day. You can find a single trace. You can't find a single trace of DC Go-Go on their website, despite having people on their roster from all over the world. Right. And we gotta be one of the not even we gotta be, we are definitely, well, aside from salsa, which is kind of like an obscure genre and the more vintage genre, just like go-go. Salsa had a very similar upbringing and timeline as go-go. And like, yeah, people gonna go listen to, the classic salsa. They had the big event at the stadium, like we had go-go live, and then it's just in the for the people who know, it's in the background. It ain't on no Grammy charts. Yeah, and the number one salsa record, that's not happening. So when you look at who's using this Latin percussion like that, we might be probably the biggest genre, pound for pound, that's utilizing their equipment. So they need to give us some love. You understand? Tina Williams, what's up, Tina Williams? Yeah, man. Ali the Great. Shout out to everybody. Jab Entertainment, DC Black Cuban, the real Rob Bass joined, Valor Flavor, Day 1127. Rena Renee, Tony 81 SC, Wayne 08, Beans Burberry, everybody, Sugar Lovers. Appreciate y'all. I'm gonna get on out of here. But I definitely appreciate everybody tuning in for this little crank convo, man, about the music business. Shout out to the Madness Connection. Y'all make sure y'all going out there and show them some love. Official sponsor, the Cheef and Go. You know what I'm talking about? Much love to them. Much love to y'all, man. Y'all be safe out here in this all this ice and cold out here. Don't freeze your ass off. Be careful. Keep your gloves and your hat and all that. Be careful. And be careful because these motherfuckers can't drive out here. But yeah, like I said, definitely appreciate y'all. Go make sure y'all go check out that hblegacy95.com. I'm working on that website too, and you can get all the merch there. I got the link to the merch there. The merch store is called Always Remain True. It's Always Remain True Collective. It's like a different link, but I got the links in there. Y'all go check out some of that stuff, man. We got mouse pads and gym bags and t-shirts and sweatshirts and zip hoodies and all different type of things for you to represent the brand with, and always remain true each and every, you know what I'm saying, keeping it cranking for the culture. Go-Go Loops, that's what we do. Cheefism. Hey, I got to get out of here. But definitely one love. Appreciate y'all, man. Like, share, comment. Go subscribe to the YouTube. And LP is definitely the sound of go-go. Shout out to my guy Noah Days. Appreciate you. I ain't seen you in a minute, brother. Good to see you back through here. You out there, Noah out there in Toronto. He used to the snow. Ain't that where you at, Noah? Vancouver, Toronto? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, shout out to my man Rick in the Bag, Ed, Woody Woods, the whole Madness crew. 3641 Leonardtown Road. Y'all go get fresh. Tell them the Cheef and Go sent you. Say, man, Cheef and Go told me come down here that y'all had what I need. Y'all definitely gonna find that down there. You know what I'm talking about? And man, look out for the Huggabuck documentary. I'm working on it. Look out for the reunion show. We working on it. It's coming real soon. So yeah, like I said, man, much love, one love, spread love, not hate. And make sure you go outside and be great. You know what I mean? Don't ever be a Bama. Heartbeat Congo out. What's up, my man Jose in the building? Appreciate you, bro. Hey, I learned it from you. Y'all know Jose is the first host to go. You know what I'm talking about? The original Metro World. How many people used to come in and watch Metro World when they came home from school? Man, Metro World was everything. Those are the type of things that motivated me, got me inspired to come out, one do it. Because I was just excited, man, seeing these dudes, seeing the go-go, seeing the go-go shows and all that. So definitely shout out to Jose and the Heartbeat Congo Hour. My man, cousin Dre Drink in the building. 10-4 over and out. You know what I'm talking about? Love y'all, man. I'm out of here. Peace.
Cheef and Go.